Hi, you guys. Okay, so today I got asked to do an audition, like through backstage. And the script was just very long. It was like 4 pages. And I memorized it in 4 hours. So I wanted to give you a little tutorial of how I memorize lines. Also, I have like 3 pages of writing I did in those 3 hours. Or like 3 or 4 hours. I forgot what I said. Okay, so for this first page, we have they ask for a slate, and a slate is basically like introducing yourself in the beginning. So I wrote that at the top. I wrote what they wanted me to do, and then afterward I put where they wanted me to submit, so like, the email or whatever. Then they also incorporated the personality and sort of the character's background. And like, for example, she's smart, grounded, blah blah blah. She's tender, trying to navigate and survive in the neighborhood. All that stuff. So that was like the informational part. It's good to have it down on paper around you when you're doing your little doing your thing to get to memorize lines. Okay, now let's get into the how you memorize lines. Okay, so first things first is the writing portion. This is like the info, but the writing portion. This, what it basically is my lines that I'm supposed to be reading written down, okay? And then once I'm finished writing down all my lines, I go and I do the same thing again. And this is helpful because, and also you need to be saying it out loud while you're doing it. It's very, very important. So, yeah, you write it down and you say what you're saying out loud. That's the first thing. Then, in case you didn't see this like Morse code looking stuff, it is the lines, but the first letter of each word. And this is so helpful because once you repeat it, like I wrote down my lines, I think twice, because it was just too many lines to be writing down multiple times. But when you write down the first letter of each word for each line, so basically this line is, where were you last night? WWYLN. And you do that for each one. And so you get used to saying the lines, memorizing the lines, writing the lines without actually seeing the word, if that makes sense. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it. I usually double the amount of times that I've written like the Morse code thing based off how many times I've written the regular words. So I wrote the regular words twice, like the full thing twice. So I wrote the Morse code stuff like 4 times. And yeah, I literally memorized everything in about, I'd say, in between 3 and 4 hours, which is really, really quick. And I finished, like, I got to do the self tape that same day. That's crazy. But yeah, okay, bye.